talking top logistics challenges in my conversation today with Terence Leung. He is Senior Director of Solutions with Blue Yonder. Hello, Terence.
Nice to be here. Thank you for seeing me.
Thank you for being with me. What would you describe as the top logistics challenges that manufacturers, retailers, and third-party logistics providers are facing today?
Yeah, short-term and long-term. So let's talk about short-term first.
Okay.
It's labor shortages, the situations in China and Europe, and more and more is the change in business environment and requirements, such as for digital only fulfillment, that is by the companies themselves or by their partners or customers.
That was short term, you said.
Short term, yeah,
okay.
But in the medium and long term, they're thinking about winning and how to beat the competition. So they can breathe now with the pandemic almost over, and they have the budget, right? So a lot of companies are undergoing digital transformation for their transportation, warehouse, fulfillment, and other processes, right, to become more digital. Mm-hmm. Why that would be, right? It's because they expect that after they go digital, they would have the whole picture of the whole operations along the whole supply chain and logistics chain, and resolve the problems more easily, right? So that they can really achieve simultaneously better customer service, as well as, let's say, the reduction of cost, mm-hmm. and also increase of agility to the supply chain.
If we want to look at the silver lining to all this, is it fair to say that perhaps these challenges are what's driving them to step up their innovations and step up their digitization,
yes,
in a way that might not have happened absent these horrible challenges we're talking about?
That's a definite point, right? Mm-hmm. So what they're trying to do is to carry out digital transformation, okay, to the various logistics processes and supply chain processes, and also the processes with the partners. So in one of the annual surveys or study that we do, surveying logistics executives, the two things that they're doing is to put in new systems, mm-hmm. And also to put the systems in a cloud infrastructure, because that's the way of the future, right? For flexibility and advancement, right? Easily put in the digital advancement, okay? And then the biggest issue they found and they are trying to solve, according to our other annual survey, the state of supply chain execution, okay, is end-to-end visibility, okay, and also let's say the more integrated system and processes. They talk about that for 20 years, but yeah, now with the system advancement, they can really do it, right? Followed by two operational requirements is the delivery, better agility in delivery, and also like the warehouse and transportation capacity. And then followed by the short-term problems of missed delivery and returns and so forth.
That's all, right? That's all the only problems they have right now.
And
not a big deal.
I sense your
You sense the sarcasm,
the sentiment, right? Yeah, it is. And basically, they can do it now, okay, with the help of systems, mm-hmm. and with the help of the partners, okay? Because they want to connect to not just their own systems across the supply chain, but also connect to digitally the external networks that can help them for the last mile services like parcel and extra capacity, mm-hmm. right? Of flexibility, right? They don't want to own just the private fleet because it's low utilization. They want to tap into other carrier networks, especially the networks are becoming so complex, right? They can't do it on their own. Okay, so yeah, because it's international, even domestic, it's a lot more complicated, so they can't do it themselves, right? So they're seeking help.
But the challenge you're describing to me, Terence, is so broad. That's why I was a little bit acerbic about that.
Right.
I'm just wondering how companies, knowing that they have to do all this, so the entire aspect of their operations has to be addressed in one way or another. How do they prioritize? They can't just take it all on at once. How do you make a decision as to what to do first and what order to do it in and what's important and what's not?
Yeah, in the, let's say, omni-channel fulfillment and digital world, right? The first priority is customer-centric, customer first. They want to improve customer service. Of course, they have the bottom line to care about, right? So it's like, in terms of transportation, right? There are use cases and they are success stories now. You know, we just did a study with a consulting firm interviewing our customers, right? So for $1 billion company, they can save like $14 million of transportation costs. That's not chump change.
Great
right?
incentive.
And labor, you know, combining like transportation and warehousing, it's like 32 million for $1 billion companies. You can scale that for other companies, right? So in transportation, okay, so they want less penalty. You know, they want to improve their customer service, even though the network has become more complex, and with the omni-channel and e-commerce volumes, more returns, right? So they can attain that simultaneously with the improvement of, you know, improving the cost to serve and cash to serve. Okay, in the warehousing side, you know, there are, you know, customer case studies that, you know, that is like 30% reduction in fulfillment time. Right, so we are not saying of the same volume, right? Because the e-commerce volume is like we have to handle the eaches, right, or each transaction, apart, you know, in addition to the bulk transaction for, you know, manufacturing, right? So it's a lot more complex. So in each of the warehouse and across the warehouse, we need more, let's say, better communication among them. Okay. Lastly, you know, sustainability is, so I can say the word because I'm excited. So sustainability.
Understandably
right?
so.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, apart from, in addition to the empty miles and greenhouse gases, right? They're more and more looking for transportation management system and warehouse management system to help them reduce packaging, right? And all kinds of sustainability. And, you know, our customers are winning sustainability award because of that, right? So the systems that, the new systems that we're putting in are expected to not just track, okay, but optimize according to customer service, according to sustainability goals, and other goals, right, going forward. So it's a lot more complex set of equations.
I wonder if what you just said to me kind of answers my next question. That's because so much of what we're talking about here right now is necessary. These companies have no choice but to move forward with these innovations. So in effect, so many companies are reactive. They're reacting to the crises and the challenges.
Right.
How would you distinguish that mode of thinking between that and the truly forward-thinking companies? What are their end goals and what makes them different and sets them apart?
Yeah, thank you for asking that, right? It's like, maybe 1 year ago, customers or companies are still like thinking about what to do, right? But now, you know, now that they see a lot of success stories and employing systems to digitize the supply chain, right? They are not shy of doing that now, right? So they are investigating and investing. So, you know, by our annual studies, right, they are investing in mostly new transportation systems and new warehousing systems, plus you know, like control tower, right? So the 5 things that we see a lot happening, okay, is for warehouse, okay, so it's warehouse tasking. So it's a pull paradigm rather than push paradigm. Okay, in order to optimize the tasks for humans and also for the robotics that they're using. So they are scheduling all these tasks, right, for the robots and humans in the same pool. Okay, so that they can, you know, reduce, let's say, the manual work of scheduling them by like 80%, and, you know, the throughput is increased up by a lot. Okay, and then like with the increase of use of robotics, right? They're thinking about how to use the robotics hub, okay, to let's say onboard all the robotics from different vendors, so that they don't have to have locked-ins. Okay, so it's like they're not vendor lock-in, and also it's like they standardize the interface so that they can onboard more, but with a high volume and easier. So that's the second. The third one is the use of all these carrier collaboration and let's say dynamic pricing, okay? So that they can evaluate all the time, like real time, okay? Whether they can use their own capacity or outsource it, right? And then the fourth one is digitally bidding. Okay, so so once they have digitally connected to the carrier network, okay, they can carry out the bid and also the optimization in real time.
Okay, so the fifth, real quick.
Yeah, the fifth one is really they're employing logistics control tower. Okay, so combined with TMS and WMS systems, they can really see not just within the four wall of a warehouse or within a single route of transportation, but across the network, so that they can not only report the exceptions and disruptions, but then with the AI and ML, so it's like machine learning, right? We can resolve the problems right away. So early enough that they can make a difference.
Thank you for that. Thank you for those insights. I want to very quickly, though, touch upon Blue Yonder specifically, how it fits into the picture in terms of the options that it's offering these customers to reach these goals. Could you give me a quick summary of that?
Yeah, it's really exciting time that we are providing not just the individual applications for the transportation or warehouse or supply chain planning. We are offering a platform, okay, that can be real-time communicating with all these systems so that they can talk and cooperate really in a digital format. Okay, rather than like, hey, we build integrations from scratch for linking together all these systems. So from now on, it's all SaaS native. Okay, so that when a new module is rolled out or a new version is rolled out, it's painless to upgrade or to move to the new version, and they talk to each other, so that we can fulfill all these last mile use cases, all these customer service oriented workflow, pretty easily.
Thanks so much, Terence, for talking to me about some of these big logistics challenges that are out there right now and some possible solutions as well.
Yes.
Really appreciate it.
I really appreciate your time too. Thank you so much.
I've been speaking with Terence Leung of Blue Yonder. Thank you very much for watching.